with the screen roll in place, so that made it a little bit easier, and we'd worked on that before, so familiarity, it helps. And, I think trucks come in the last two games early with Jared and got enough extra shots. KJ shot it great in warm-ups, and then his first couple were short, and he didn't shoot it as well but it's great to be able to win when he doesn't shoot it as well. Dennis was, for a while, very, very good.
Jones says you need trucks, that productivity every time.
That helped. But we'd get 27 on a truck every night and 30 from KJ every night, and we'd have a chance. I don't think that's going to happen.
Is this a good time for a break?
We're a little tired.
Can you talk about the Browns, both of them, what they've been doing for you?
AB's just made some shots. He's made some big shots. He's made some shots under pressure for us, and I think he continues to get better defensively. He made a couple of post feeds, which he hasn't made before. They're good kids. I mean, they don't work as hard as what they think they're working some days, but they're getting better. And Gary's got to play hard. I told Gary, Gary's got to kind of be, he's got to be kind of Joe Mazzola. When Joe didn't play hard, he wasn't very good. And finally he learned that he had to play hard all the time, then he was a pretty good player. And we're trying to get Gary to kind of realize the same thing, that he's got to come out and play so hard. And I mean, honestly, he made some shots in the first half that I'm sure surprised them, because it surprised me. We're spending a lot of time working on it. Spent a lot of time. Dennis missed those 2 free throws, and I think until then we don't miss 1 free throw. But we have spent an exorbitant amount of time shooting free throws.
Speaking of guys making shots, did you expect a 6'11" guy to be draining threes like that?
No, I haven't done it all year. But that's usually what happens against us. People who aren't supposed to play. People who haven't made shots make shots. Kind of used to it.
The big
It was a great crowd, wasn't it? 2,200 students. And it's so much more fun when they're in there. When the students show up, they've got such great enthusiasm. It's so much more fun when they're here. It's nice to have them here.
Is maybe one of the best things that Kevin did tonight, not forcing it? Is that another lesson that, he can help the young guys learn?
Yeah, I mean, he missed a couple shots that he normally makes all the time, those 12-footers against his own. I mean, we were, my guys on the bench are saying, do you want to run something else? And I said, we're not going to get any better shots than what we're getting. I mean, those are pretty good shots. And then Dennis makes the reverse, and it rolls off, and KJ rebounds it, and it rolls off, and, those are shots we ought to make. We're not going to get better shots than those.
That he didn't, in your perception, do what you call hunting shots or anything like that?
No. I mean, I think the 3 he took late, we really didn't need. But I think he was kind of caught up in a moment. They were starting to make a little bit of a run, and I think he thought he was going to end the run by making it. And he shot the ball really, really well in warm-ups. I watched him shoot it. Usually, I shouldn't do that. Every time I do that, watch them, and I think they're going to make them. They don't. So I need to not watch them.
Oh, because there was a point in the game where Truck got backdoored, Dennis made a mistake, and Garrett Brown made a mistake, and you called a timeout and jumped guys pretty hard in the huddle there. Is that more for you than for them, or is that,
No, it's for them. I just as soon sit there and cross my legs, read the paper. No, I mean, we weren't playing with any energy. And that was kind of my message predominantly. We made a couple changes, but not very many at halftime. We needed more energy. We just didn't play with a lot of energy. And I said to them, I mean, we've never done what we did. We've never gone as late as what we went on Friday. And we didn't get back till 4:30 in the morning, so I mean, for them to go to class at 8 o'clock, I didn't think was gonna help them in the class any. So we let them sleep in a little bit. we shot the ball a lot and shot a lot of free throws.
When you're yelling or stressing a point, do you feel Dennis is a little harder to get through to maybe than some of the others, and that he seems to be a little disinterested at times when that happens?
Depends on what I say to him. I mean, I kind of know what to say, generally. I kind of know what buttons to push by now, but we just didn't have any energy, Bob, you know, and you gotta fight through some things sometimes, you know, and I've told him for a long time, everybody wants to play in the NBA, and I've told you guys this. I mean, these guys play every other day, play 100 times. You know, and everybody says, I want to do that. That looks like a lot of fun. That's not a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. It's hard. They do the same thing we did. They play a game, they get on the plane, they fly, they practice a day, and then they play again. And they do it 100 times, 50 times, 50 times they played. So, I've tried to equate that to them. But the reality is, this game was scheduled for tomorrow, and we could get it on ESPN if we played it today. And I'm kind of thinking, you know, I'm not sure with this young team that's a good idea, but then I start thinking that, you know, the Big East starts our season with one-day prep. You know, we go Villanova here and then Seton Hall. So we might as well get used to it. Might as well get used to doing it, because we got a bunch of them, and not necessarily big Mondays. I think that's probably the result of arena availabilities with people who don't own their own arenas.
As much as you kind of needed to jump on Dennis there in the first half, the way he played the first 6-7 minutes of the second half, maybe his best stretch of play here, do you think?
You didn't see anything if you thought I jumped on him. I didn't see anything.
His decision-making and things, though?
A lot better. A lot better, but, you know, we've spent a lot more time. We have, in all honesty, and he's been very good. He's been very attentive. And it's going, a lot of the stuff that we're doing is going against kind of what he's done his whole life. And trying to Americanize him a little bit, you know, when it comes to basketball. And he's been really good. I mean, I don't have any complaints whatsoever with Dennis. And he's light years ahead of where he's been defensively. And he ran the floor and scored. He's doing a lot of good things. I can say that because he doesn't read the paper, so I don't know what
Bob, I don't have a box, but I think you shot close to 50%. You made your free throws. You didn't really turn the ball over until you got sloppy at the end. Now you got a week off after playing pretty well. Do you like where this team is after 8 games?
Well, it's kind of like Jim Herrick told me one time. You know, he said I'd rather have the ball than not. I'd rather be up than down. I'd rather win than lose. And I'd much rather win than lose. We're gonna work. We're gonna spend 2 days working on us. 2 days working on getting us better. We finally made some rotations. We finally made the right rotations. And we're gonna work on that defensively. We're gonna work on some other things that we're probably gonna need down the road, and then try to get a little more consistent at the offensive end. And then we'll spend a couple of days getting ready for Saturday and Monday.
Is Aaron Brown the missing piece, maybe?
Well, he's made shots. I mean, as long as he continues to make shots, that helps us. It's just, you know, Bob, it's hard because they can't play as long as, you know, we play those other three guys a lot of minutes, heavy minutes, and those guys can't do that. They get tired and they don't guard and they rest and they rest on offense, which screws us up offensively. And so we've got to do. I didn't do a very good job in the Mississippi State game of getting him out. I should have got him out and rested him and then got him back in. I didn't do a very good job of that. You know, you want to try to ride them as long as you can ride them when they're making some shots and playing well, but at the same time, then you get less out of them probably. Sometimes sometimes less is more. Sometimes when you cut their minutes, their production is better.
And I don't know if you've been asked this about the game in Cincinnati and today. Is that really that intense?
Well, it's really intense, but I mean, I was in it 16 years, nothing like that ever happened. But it is very intense. I mean, it's very intense from player standpoint, from coaching standpoint, from a fan standpoint. But nothing like that ever happened.
What do you do as a coach if it does?
Well, I think my guys understand that they really don't want to screw with me, you know. So I wouldn't have. I don't think when I tell them stay there, they stay there. And I would have probably taken a couple of those guys to the bench, you know, to get them out of harm's way, you know, and get them under control. But that's just me. Everybody handles things differently, and I'm fortunate enough that I'm big enough and getting bigger that I can kind of do some things that probably other people can't do.
Are you opposed to a rotation number-wise?
No, I don't care about rotations. Play guys that are productive. I was about ready to go a little deeper in the bench today in the first half. I don't care about that. I mean, I just play guys that produce.
You just pay, just
No,
just vary the number.
Well, Jabari's played heavy minutes. Jabari didn't play quite as well today. Didn't play quite as well on Thursday. He didn't play as many minutes. I'm not for socialism. I'm American.
You play hunches.
No, I play people that work. You know, I think you ought to work for what you get. I don't think we ought to share. You know, just because you're on the team don't mean you ought to get minutes if you don't deserve them, if you haven't earned them.
Coach, there was a point in the second half that I think KJ had 6 points,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys are still up 20. I mean, is that a sign, or is it?
No, you can't, but you don't understand all the things that he does. You know, and Truck shot it well.
Right.
You know what I told you, we got to have at least 2 or 3 of them. And Dennis and Truck shot it well. KJ didn't, to KJ's credit. You know, the shots that he shot in the second half, other than the 3, I mean, he about had to shoot. He was wide open at 10, 12 feet. About half shoot those. And then I think what happened was then we told him, you know, run clock against that zone. Just run some clock. Don't take, you know, very quick shots. And we took a couple quick shots, which put them in transition. And they just don't know the difference yet. You know, when you say run clock, then they don't look to shoot it, and they don't attack, and then all of a sudden you end up at the end of a shot clock deal, and which isn't necessarily good all the time. They've got to learn the difference.
Just wondering though that, you know, like a month ago, if he doesn't score 19-20, you guys probably aren't in that kind of situation.
You know, I mean, I try not to try to think for him, but I really think when he took the quick three, which as it turned out was not a good shot, but I think they were making a little bit of a run, and I think he thought that, you know, that he could make it and kind of kill the run and get it back to 20 and everything would be fine, and he ends up missing it and it bounces out and they end up going in transition, and you know, in hindsight, it's not a very good shot. But it's a lot easier to figure that out after it's over with than it is what's going on.
Anything else?